Now, introduction, I think I'm a Christian, I'm a family man, engineer, business leader, and author. And I know that these things are things that basically young people are interested in. At the end of this session, you're free to ask me any question. And when that is done, I hope, like I said, that this will benefit you. Now, first thing I want to focus on, because there's two lessons to one, is failing. I did a series some time back on social media. And I'll give you my social media handles and go on them. But one of them was on failing your way to success. And there are 5 lessons that I want you to teach somebody. Now, the thing is, we don't like failure. And that's a challenge with this particular generation, because most people think that you're supposed to just start and get to the top. There's an image that I saw the other day with regards to what you think is success and where you're supposed to get to. So everyone thinks that you start from point A, you go to point B, then point C, then point that there are a few bumps here and there, but basically you get to where you're supposed to get to. Guys, it doesn't work that way. Failure is part and parcel of the package. There are many people who, when they fail, they then step back. In fact, most of your way to success, whatever you think success is, it leads you through many, many dungeons, many difficult situations, and most times you think of quitting. And so, yes, I am a pastor, minister, and I don't want to make it too biblical and give you so many scriptures and examples, because I know that most of you who are listening and watching right now, you understand the word of God. I want to make it a little bit more broader, thus that we're able to touch on particular principles. So I want to give you simple 5 steps of how you must fail. Okay? I know that we push people to be able to succeed and to do, but I want to show you how you must fail. Okay? How to fail. So this is failing your way to success. Step number 1, fail hard. Yes, you heard me right, fail. You can see that image that's over there, number 1. What JFK said, the former president who was assassinated of America, he says, show me a man who has never failed, and I'll show you a man who has never attempted anything new. You must understand that you've got what's known as a growth mindset. There are only 2 types of mindsets you must have as a leader. I am a leader, a student of leadership, one of my books on leadership, and I believe that as a leader, you must have growth mindset. And the growth mindset has got to do with understanding that there's a lot more to what I understand. There's an African proverb that says that if you spend all of your life in your house, you're going to marry your sister. So the thing is, so long as you're in your house and you're doing things all by yourself, you think your house is the best, you've got the best TV, your mom is the best cook, you think everything about you is the best. You only have to step outside and go next door, and you realize that, hey, wait a minute, I like the color of their paint, how they do things a bit better than how I do. So you must have a growth mindset. What Mother Eagle does to the eaglets is that when she feels it's time for them to fly, all she does, she nudges them closer to the edge of the nest. You must know that eagles build their nests right at the top of the mountain. And most times it's in rocky areas based upon the type of eagle it is. And she pushes the eaglet out of the nest. And this eaglet is falling, trying to get to flap its wing. And that's the best way for you to learn. Sometimes you've got to push out. The point is, fail hard. Because if the eaglet fails to flap its wings and fly, it's going to hit hard against the rock. Obviously, there's a system that mother uses to be able to catch the little one. But my point is, fail hard. If you're going to fail, then make sure that you fail really hard. What's this business of trying to do things in a small way? The story of a man called Icarus and Daedalus has to do with Greek mythology and so forth. And they were in jail by King Minos. And so what happened was the father and the son said, look, let's try and fly out. And so they took, each time birds would come, they gathered feathers of these birds. And then they made wax. And they put the feathers onto their hands such that they had wings, basically. And so they began to flap the wings. And over time, they had a number of feathers that they got. They flapped the wings. And they began to fly high. And so Icarus got so excited that I'm flying out of my jail. I'm going. And then he began to fly too close to the sun. If you've ever heard the statement that you're flying too close to the sun, because of Icarus. What Icarus did was he began to fly too close to the sun. And what the sun began to do was it began to melt the wax on the feather. And when the wax melted, obviously the feathers fell off and he fell down, he died. Daedalus, his father, was a little bit lower because he was a wise man, older in life, didn't go too close to the sun. But my point is, he attempted and he did something. So if you are going to fail, my point is fail hard. Go out and give it your best shot. Do everything in your power that you can do. Even when you're giving marriage advice, I say, look, if your marriage is to fail, God forbid, we support marriage and all of that. Fail when you've done everything that you can do. Many times when young people come to me and say, Pastor, you know, she's dumped me. Or Pastor, he doesn't want me anymore. Or Pastor, my marriage isn't working out. I say, listen, I don't know what you're planning to do, but right here, right now, you've got to make a choice. Give it your best shot. Leave nothing to chance. Go all out. Make sure that this relationship works. And if it fails after that, walk away. Fail hard. Let the business fail when you've given everything into it. Fail your degree when you've done everything that you can do. Don't just be nancy-pansy and do things half-measured. Fail hard. See that image that's over there? Guy got hit hard in the face. It's not a little look at the face, but and if you're gonna fail, fail hard. Step one. Step number two in failure. Fail safe. If you look at that, that's a dashboard. Many people ignore that dashboard safe. Again, I'm not talking about just failing for the sake of failing. Thomas Edison says, show me a man thoroughly satisfied, and I'll show you a man who has failed. So how do you fail safe? Most machines have a fail safe. They've got something that if something is to go wrong, you press on a red button, you do something, and the machine stops right there and then. And that way, there's no injury to anything else. And so if you look at a car when you're driving, there are many indicators that are there that show you that, look, there's not enough oil, there's not enough fuel, they're moving too fast, the brakes have got a failure, something of the sort. And so when you're doing what you're doing, when you're stepping out as a leader, because leaders go into uncharted areas, they're going to places that no one else has gone to, and most times to do things that no one else has done. And so even in your family, you're a leader. At school, you're a leader. Within your home, you're a leader. In office, when you're working, you're a leader. You're supposed to step out and do things. Fail safely. What does that mean? You must make what are called calculated risks. Make calculated risks. Don't just jump out of the blue and know where you're going. Let me give you an example. Econet, who are the funders of Higher Life and many things, you know, Dr. Strive Masiwa, who is someone that I personally look up. When Econet was beginning, they were doing what they did and the cash flow was not so good. So they said, I had a meeting with their employees. I had the story second, third hand, okay? And he said, look, we're not making money right now, but the time is coming when we will make money. We are anticipating in a couple of months, maybe about a year. And so if you agree, for the coming months, there will be no salary, but we'll give you enough money to cater for your transport, your groceries, and so forth. It will be rough, but I guarantee within about a year or so, money will start coming in. And so they made a calculated risk. Sat down with their employees, and they said, what groceries would we want? It could be X, Y, and Z. And for sure, during those months, no money came in. They had calculated the risk. Fail safe. Story is told of Odysseus, again, mythology. And he was a sailor. What they would do, they would travel around the world and you know, look for new places and so forth. And I like the story because Odysseus, he understood the issue of failing safe. So there's a particular path. If you're to use that particular direction to travel, there were beautiful mermaids that were there. Number one, it was a treacherous path. After the treacherous path, there were beautiful mermaids that were there. It was said that these mermaids were so beautiful that any man would be drawn to them. But that wasn't it alone. They would sing. And when they were singing, their voice was so melodious that everyone wanted to hear. Now, when they were singing and you'd listen, you'd be caught up and mesmerized and taken in. And so once you're taken in and you get off your ship and go with these mermaids, what would happen was they would change their features and they would eat on the man. They were carnivore and they were eating human beings. So sailors were warned, number one, don't go that way. And what they devised was, if you were to go that way, you'd tie something around your ears. Make sure that you don't even hear. You would see them, you would not hear them. And what Odysseus said was, he said, I can't come this far, go through so much difficulty, and not hear the voice of these mermaids. And he was the captain of the ship. So he said to his sailors, guys, tie me onto the mast of the ship. And when we pass by there, no matter what I say, make sure you don't untie me. No matter what happens, tie me up. I want to hear those voices. I'll see them, but I want to hear those voices. Make sure you do not untie me, no matter what I say. And so his sailors tied him up. And true it was, he was a good sailor. The treacherous past, it was rocky. And then the mermaids, and true to form, they were beautiful. Not only that, they began to sing, and they were calling Odysseus, come, and they were singing. I don't know what you think is a melodious voice. I don't know what you think is a great piece of music. They were 20 times, 30 times, 1,000 times better. And they were calling his name. And he began to shout at his men. He told them, untie me, I'll fire you, I'll kill you. Every threat you can think of. He was shouting at his men because he was mesmerized by the voice. And guess what? The men had their ears, plugs in their ears, and they did not untie him. He passed that place and he survived. How did Odysseus fail? He thought he was a strong-willed man. He thought he could handle the pressure of these mermaids, but he couldn't. And he failed safely. In his moment of weakness, he was tied up and did not participate in what was going to kill him. If you're going to fail, make sure that you fail safely. I hope this is making sense. Number 3, fail forward. If you're going to fail, you must fail forward. Albert Einstein says a person who has never made a mistake has never attempted anything new. You've got to fail forward. Many times when we fail backward. What do I mean? You feel guilty. You don't want to do it again. You shut down. The other day I was speaking to a young man, and he had gone, his life wasn't working out well. He said, I can't understand what's happening in your life because you've got A, B, C, and D. The way you are responding to things, your responses, I think there's something wrong with you, And I'm sensing that you're going to become suicidal. I'm afraid the chance you might start taking drugs because I can't understand why you are where you are and you are doing the things that you are doing. Everything is provided for. Why are you doing what you're doing? And then in discussing, he then revealed to me that he had taken a test in a particular course and he had failed countless times. He didn't even remember how many times he had failed, and he had told nobody that he had failed in those tests. And I said, you know what? You should have mentioned. I told him, I failed 3 times, but it happens. I moved on. And so failure was now eating his confidence. Failure was in so low self-esteem. Failure had caused him to go into a shell. His dressing had changed. The way he was talking had changed. The way he looked had changed. His eating habit had changed. Everything about him. And he had shut that door completely so that he wasn't moving on with his life. You must fail forward. The Japanese have a principle called Kaizen principle, which is always looking for a better way to do it. So whatever it is that you do, is a better step forward. So for example, I'm just talking here. If you look at the iPhone, was the first iPhone, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 4, iPhone 5, iPhone 6, the same with Samsung 1, 4, S4, S8, S10. And each time they make this device look so perfect, but in the device, there's a weakness. And so they fail forward. They say, okay, what bad thing is in this device? And then they improve on that. And they keep on going, they keep on moving, they keep on moving forward, fail forward. Learn from your lessons of failure. And when you've fallen down, you pick yourself up and you move forward, fail forward. The Wright brothers who designed the aeroplane, these guys were bicycle mechanics. And guess what? When they discovered the aeroplane, they flew for about 20 seconds. That was world-breaking, world-breaking. what they did. You must know that a couple of thousands of kilometers away, there was a scientist who was well-funded, who was trying to be the first one to get to flight. He failed. I'm forgetting his name. But the Wright brothers did it. These were simple bicycle mechanics. They were failing forward. They were making bicycles. If you learned and moved forward, be able to create an aeroplane. But guess what? That's not the crux of the matter. Here we are in 2021. We are now talking about satellites. We are launching rockets. Last week, Sir Richard Branson, or this week, Sir Richard Branson launched into space. We're not talking about space tourism. Elon Musk, from the Wright brothers, who flew for only 20 seconds, fail forward. Whatever you're doing, there's always some bit of improvement you can realize what it is and fail forward. I really hope what I'm saying here is making sense, right?